guys, we got a special episode today. We got Nsima Inyang here, and this isn't a garage gym. It's not a home gym. It's like mine. It's a gym home. So it's mostly gym with some home stuff kind of interspersed because there's going to be some shots of here when you walk right in. There's rings hanging up right in front of you. He's got a treadmill in the kitchen. He's got beds of spikes, a rice bucket sitting in front of the couch. I mean, you have turned your entire house into a playground.
Yeah. A playground's the right way to mention it. Not a gym, it's a playground.
It is.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like when you walk up, this is the front of it, and you can kind of immediately get the impression. You got kettlebells, clubs, bags, barbells. Did you see the trampoline? It's called a rebounder. It feels really good, man.
If you guys are watching, think about when's the last time you really jumped. So sometimes starting to pull a jump rope out, you might feel some pain in your ankles, your feet might be kind of weak, but anybody can hop on a rebounder and like get some of the input from jumping. I'm gonna be careful right there, right? Without having to really, go crazy with it.
I always thought that kind of jumping was like the fountain of youth. And it's interesting. I get people who come up to me at expos. I'm a large guy. I can do a backflip.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, do you think I can do a backflip?" I always ask them, "When was the last time you jumped? When was the last time both feet left the ground?"
Think about skipping.
Yeah, skipping. Oh my God, dude! Just step back. Watch him skip. You were just nonchalantly like, look at that explosive.
Skipping in place.
You are springy, man.
Dude, but the reason why I'm springier now, like. When I was younger, I played soccer.
Yeah.
But the thing is when I got into a lot of bodybuilding and powerlifting, I didn't even realize how long it'd been since I jumped. And then I remember one day I tried to jump and I landed and I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize first off, a big part of jumping is landing.
Yeah.
I kind of lost the ability. So for what I did to get it back is I just bought a jump rope and I started slowly building the capacity to jump rope. Initially I was hitting myself a lot, but building this capacity back strengthened my feet, strengthened my ankles, allowed me to learn how to handle the ground forces efficiently. And it's the simple thing that I can now keep for the rest of my life.
I got to get a better jump rope. I used to jump rope for cardio a lot.
Cross rope.
Cross rope.
They're the best. Their ropes are made out of nylon coated steel cables.
Is this on your website?
It is on my website.
Okay,
but you can also go to crossrope.com.
No, I want to put your link in the description because everything that you would recommend is kind of on this collection page that you have on your website.
Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, you get it, dude. Yes! What are you talking about? You haven't jumped rope in a while and then you pull some rope flow into it.
Yep. Yeah.
See? And I think one thing is when we look at a lot of this stuff, we'll probably talk about it. Is
that feels good.
Yes.
I like that one.
You don't have to treat it like a workout. If that's all you did on a day, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you just got that input in, right? And you just maintain that input so you don't lose it. You don't have to make it some daunting 20-minute workout, although it can be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
You just have it around and just play with it here and there. And it seems like you have. If you do that, if you just have things around and you just do a little bit every day, but you have this many things, you end up moving all day long because you got clubs, you got kettlebells, you got ropes, you got jump ropes, you got rebounders.
Certain days of training for me have specific intents. So I'll have certain things that I do that are just plain movement. So I'm going to do some rope flow every day. I'm going to do some form of swinging every single day, but that might not be the main part of my meaty workout for the day. If I plan on doing something that's metabolic conditioning and strength, I'm going to take the sled out there. I'm going to take a sandbag out right there. I'll put some weight on the sled and I'll go back and forth with the sled, then pick up the sandbag, walk back and forth, go back to the sled, walk back and forth. That'll be my meaty potential workout, right? On another day, if I want to maybe get specific muscles going, do some hypertrophy work, the meat might be me doing some calisthenic work, hitting some body parts with the kettlebell, maybe doing some stuff with that bar. And then I'll still, though, sometime at the day, I really like rope flow for movement, so I'll still at least do 20 minutes or something at some other point, maybe in the morning, maybe a little bit in the evening. But I touch certain aspects of movement. I work a lot at home, so I have one of these smaller clubs at my desk.
Yeah.
Right? So in between me being at the computer, I'll just pick this up, boom, I'll come here, get some of this in, get some of it on my left side, and then I put it down.
Yeah.
It's that for me, it's I get the movement in, the body moves, I feel good, I can get back to work, but that wasn't a workout. That was a small input. But those small inputs over time, compounded over weeks, months, and years, make a very big difference. I think a lot of people that are lifters watch your channel, bodybuilders, power lifters, people that just want to get big. I want, like, we look at you, right? We see you doing flips, you're able to do all this stuff. And we were just talking on the podcast. And I think one thing to keep in mind is you can still go towards these goals of hypertrophy and gaining all this muscle. But if you can give yourself little inputs of rotational movement, it doesn't have to be your workout, but it could be like, it could be 5 minutes here and there, 10 minutes here and there, multiple days a week, right? That movement can actually help you move better so that you're not feeling so stiff. But it doesn't need, again, it doesn't need to be some type of crazy workout. It's just a small input of something that you're not getting from your traditional lifting.
And it's not just for like preventing injuries or just as sort of a remedial thing. Like if it's bodybuilding, for example, look at my friend Antoine Vaya, been friends with him for like 20 years. And I would say he's the best poser in the IFBB for his size and his waist control and his artistry. He's gotten into flow rope 2 years ago, naturally kind of took to it. He plays with nunchucks all the time.
Yeah.
And that guy's always playing around with this stuff, and he does his bro split throughout the week. So he usually goes in a gym, he plays with a rope or nunchucks, and then he'll do his hypertrophy workout. In the mornings he gets up, he works with his son, he's a newborn. And then he'll play with the nunchucks there too. But like he's able to do those things, and you watch Antoine move for a 290-pound man, he moves better than anybody at that size. But it's from just kind of keeping that in. It's obviously not making him worse. It's actually making him a better bodybuilder because he's able to actually present that mass. Can we play with the club real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't have much club experience.
One of the things that I think people get twisted about clubs is, first, people start too heavy. So when we think about weight, especially when we come from gym, right? We look at 20 pounds, we're like, 20 pounds is light. So then what you do is you grab a 20-pound club and you buy a 20-pound club. I want you to feel like, do you feel comfortable swinging that? Good. But most people will grab that and then they'll want to start swinging that like that, right? Do you feel comfortable doing it with the single arm? Okay, go for it. Good. How does that feel?
Well, it's interesting because when I've done single arm things before, the lever is longer and it's actually easier to control. The shorter club is actually harder.
It's harder, especially with the single arm. But most people shouldn't start there. To learn the technique so that you don't have to, like, I think one thing that I think about throughout all of my movement is having uninhibited movement. And let me explain that. Uninhibited movement is the idea that I'm not holding my breath during anything that I'm doing, even if it's a strength work. Because when I do jiu-jitsu, because that's my martial art, you're never going to hold your breath. So when I do stuff like this, I don't want to use a weight that's going to cause me to tighten up and hold my breath. I want to use a weight that I feel comfortable, kind of like just swinging, breathing.
Yeah, I was probably holding my breath there.
Right? Like, try to see if you can breathe and move through space. Don't let yourself hold your breath.
This was actually a little heavy for me.
But that's why I like adjustable clubs, because the thing that I think about with this stuff isn't just I want to increase load. I want good movement quality. I want to breathe while doing the movement. I almost want to feel like I can relax while doing the movement, right? And then if I can do that, that'll allow me to like get what I'm looking for, and then I can increase the weight after getting some movement quality. But what you'll notice is that as you're doing this, your lower body's getting involved in helping you rotate. You're getting some rotation of the spine. You're getting some movement of the scapula. Keep the concept of I'm going to not hold my breath, and I'm going to make sure that this movement is quality. It will really help you increase your rotational strength. This one right here is 35. And for people that do clubs, 35 isn't necessarily crazy, but you're going to notice that notice from the lower body to the upper body, there's all this rotation that's happening, right? You learn how to like, and there's more things that one can do with that.
I'm gonna make you look good.
There we go. Good. This is the thing. You'll get the hang of this shit
I'm not
very
weak,
quickly.
guys.
Okay, so this right here is the Berserker bar. The guy who created this thing, he can swing 80, 90 pounds. Mind you, we're swinging 35 pounds right here.
Yeah.
He can swing 80, 90 pounds quite well, quite easily. And what I've noticed as I've been using some of these tools is my rotational strength has improved, my wrist, like it's been very helpful for my wrist and forearms. And I'm very excited to develop more strength with these types of tools, along with all the things that I've been doing. And I think actually on Larry Wheel's channel, he posted a collaboration he did with this guy, Powerhouse Persia. It's a small Persian guy, came in and was swinging these clubs, and the bodybuilders couldn't do it because they couldn't get in those ranges and they didn't have that type of strength. But just because we look at something and maybe the weight isn't as heavy as a few hundred pounds that we have on a barbell, and we can't do it, that doesn't mean it's a gimmick. I think that where where we're incompetent, there's a potential for strength to be gained, which is why I do a lot of the things I do. I try to find my weaknesses and make them strengths.
Yeah, you don't have to have a 180-pound Indian club. You don't have to work up to it. You can get better at the other ones and play with them, and then you can end up looking at those. Like rope flow, for example, I like the standard size. I use the heavier ones to give me some feedback so I can go back to default, but the benefit isn't coming from the heavier ropes, which is interesting because when people see me do this, they automatically think, oh, do I use the heavier ones? Do I go heavier?
Guys, I tell people all the time, don't buy a heavy rope first.
Yeah.
Because the amount of guys I see, like I'll see a name, I'll see like one of the heaviest ropes on my site, and it'll be like a guy I'm like, he's not in, he's in for a bad time.
Yeah, he just wants to like,
weight.
He's just trying to move weight. It's like, it's not about moving this weight, it's about moving your weight better.
Yes, and it all comes down to when you're doing these things, uninhibited movement, right? You want to be able to move while breathing. I think we have a tendency when it comes to lifting implements, we're so used to tightening up, doing our movements, that when we come to something like this, I notice this when a lot of lifters start doing rope flow, they'll come here, and first there's the aspect of like, okay, this is a new thing, so I'm trying to figure out a new pattern, but then there's the breath hold, while trying to force something to happen. Not this continuous breath that you need to be having while doing any type of movement. One of the benefits is like, I think it helps people come and learn to use their breath through movement. Because I transfer that to when I work with sandbags, when I work with barbells, I'm never holding my breath. That's huge. That's really important for me. But this is one of those things that I can teach you that concept with movement, with something that's not going to hurt you.
I'm happy that this is starting to catch on because I've gotten a lot of benefit from it. And I just think it's fun, and it doesn't make you worse at what you do. It's not like it's a huge cost. People, I think they look at it from a substitutive standpoint. It's like, I do this workout, but I can't do this too because it's like, you can also do this. You can also jump on a trampoline for a few minutes. You can also play with a jump rope for 3 minutes. You can also, like, people don't really give themselves like the credit that you can move more.
It doesn't take
and still do your workouts.
Exactly. It doesn't take away from how amazing strength training is.
Yes.
For some reason, whenever I talk about these things, people think that I think that strength training is now useless. That all you need to do is swing a rope through space. And it's like, no. No one said strength training is useless. No one said strength training isn't good for you. It's one of the greatest things that you can do for your longevity. But we also need things that are going to give our body aspects of movement that our body isn't getting from the strength training we're doing.
We got a nice collection of ropes over here. We already saw the collection of the clubs. We have, he's got pairs. He's got a lot of pairs, a lot of kettlebells and sandbags.
Yeah. I think sandbags are so amazing because they force you to, I think maybe Chris Chamberlain might have told this to you because I got it from him and I was like, yeah, you're totally right, dude. When you lift a sandbag, it's a little bit different every single time you lift it, right? Whereas when you lift a barbell, right, you get your stance, neutral stance, boom, you're here. When you lift a sandbag, there's gonna be slightly different technique when you figure out how to get your arms there, right? And because of the odd nature of the instrument, you have to create this kind of internal pressure against the bag, right, to then hug it and get tight. And then there's also a little bit of rounding that's involved with the back. So you then start to learn, okay, it's not totally unsafe to lift a heavy load with some slight movement.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things, and I find it especially beneficial for martial artists because, like, I'm grappling, I'm gonna get you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna like come here. I'm gonna get these holds against. So you can do squats, you could do tosses. I love tosses with sandbags. There's also something where like your hands get way more involved than they do when you're working with something like this.
Yeah, there's this.
Your hands have to get involved.
That seems to me to be where the largest small changes do, because the barbell is like right on the outside of the rings, right here.
Yep.
On this, it's like, I mean, what are you going to do? Put a handprint on it? But the sand is different. It's slightly settled differently when it's on the ground.
It's different because like if you load it fully, that gives you a much nicer thing than like, that's why I like to load some of my sandbags a little bit less. Because it kind of forces me to, okay, I'm here. It's kind of awkward, right? It forces me to figure out how am I going to get this up, right? A concept I want everyone to take away is the exhale when creating force and the inhale when coming down into position. While also, we don't need to talk about diaphragmatic breathing, but also breathe into the diaphragm. So when I come down to the bag, I'm inhaling, right? And then when I come up, you're gonna hear, you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear the exhale. So that exhale, because and you heard that Ferris episode. So like
You're not even warmed up, bro.
I know, but the exhale keeps me safe. So when we'll do this too, actually.
No, you're scary.
Yeah, but like growl.
Yeah.
What do you feel?
Oh, power.
But what do you feel here? What do you feel here? Growl again.
Ki happen Taekwondo. So
Okay. Yeah. So there's a tension that's created, the right amount of tension that's created in your abdomen. I don't like emoting when I lift. Okay. Whenever I was like doing powerlifting, my thing was like, how calm can I be when lifting this?
Yeah.
But I realized when I learned, you've done Taekwondo, so you realize what was happening when you're doing the Kia. I realized when I use that exhale, it helps me create just enough pressure needed to lift this safely. So the heavier the bag is, the louder I end up having to be, because that keeps this tight enough that I don't tweak anything.
How much does that weigh?
That one's 250.
You just that?
Yeah, that one's 250.
You just threw 250 over shoulder cold?
Actually, it might more so be 240 since I have it slightly underfilled.
Yeah.
It might be 240 since I have it slightly underfilled. But that's the thing. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't feel confidence that my breath was going to keep me safe. Right? If everything that I was doing, like even when I work with bells, I think bells are one of the coolest things because, and I do a lot of like flow and juggling with all of these implements, with the sandbag, with the bell, with the clubs, you're moving with weight, right?
Okay.
And that's what I think about. Because if I'm gonna move with weight, I'm not gonna
You're holding your breath.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah.
I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna, right?
What the?
Like,
You're like a
I'm gonna breathe.
You're like a magic man.
But this is the thing. In China, they have this practice called the stone lock. And the stone lock.
Okay, this is cool.
Yeah. The stone lock is this implement that they take this stone, and older people do it too. Thank you. They take this implement and they're flipping this stone through space. But what this is also doing is like when I do this stuff.
He's not even out of breath.
When I do this stuff, it pulls. So one thing is my structure is being pulled apart as I'm doing this, which is one of the reasons why I think like it helps increase tendon strength, et cetera. But it also helps you learn how to kind of like treat this thing as a tool and balance with it.
I have never really thought about really pushing the idea of working with your breath on everything like this.
Yeah.
I like it, but I think people watching, I do have a large population that are into like strongman and
Don't
stuff
start
like that.
heavy.
Okay, well, we're talking about like some of these dudes are doing like 800-pound yoke walks.
Yeah.
They're gonna go like, you gotta hold your breath on that.
Yeah.
So what do you say to that?
So this is the way I look at it. I look at it like this is a skill. You know what I mean? You're not gonna now take this concept, go and your 4 or 5 bench or your 600, 700-pound deadlift. You're not gonna. But a lot of people do actually. When you see some people coming up from the squat, they will scream. Right? Some people do it instinctively because they realize that exhale is helping them keep enough tension. So I would suggest to practice this, use lighter load first. You know what I mean? So for example, if you were to grab the sandbag, right? The bag, right now I inhale to come down, but I'm going to exhale, right?
Yeah.
And then inhale while coming down, exhale when coming up. Inhale when coming down, exhale when coming up. And practice that. Practice exhaling on the concentric of these lifts.
Yeah.
Inhale on the eccentric. So like on a curl.
Yeah, I do it on curls. It's an easy lift to do it on though.
Exactly.
So maybe practice on the easier isolation lifts that you're already doing in gym. Tricep extensions, curls, even presses are pretty easy, especially machines.
Yeah.
And then work your way up to being able to do it efficiently with something that's more involved, like sandbag stuff.
For me, the breath is my signal that I'm not ready for something yet. So even though I could potentially do what I did with that 300, if I start trying with the 300 and I drop it, once I have to breath hold, I know that my body isn't safe right now. It doesn't feel safe enough, right? So I drop it. And then everything I do, my breath is my metric for if I can increase the weight I'm working with. Not just the fact that I can actually lift that weight, but if my breath can let me lift that weight, I know I'm safe.
Every time I do these home gym tours, I'm like, okay, what's on my list now? I gotta buy a bunch of stuff. This is fun.
Those 2 clubs are yours.
Oh my God.
Along with that soft tissue tool. You're going home with that too. It's from Steve & Terry.
What's the soft tissue tool?
The soft tissue tool is the body lever.
Oh, I have one of those.
You have one of these?
I have 2 of these.
You have 2 of these?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a cool looking one though.
Do you want it?
I'll take it.
You
Yeah.
can take it.
Of course, I'll take it. The quickest and easiest one. That's just there. You go. Not crack the quad right there. You can get all that.
Yeah.
And I use this. I use this quite often just to kind of like loosen up my quad when it gets a little tight. And when my quad gets a little tight, my knee gets tight, and my knees are my major problem.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Do
there's
you ever use it down here?
not as much. Maybe
Because if you could hit I like to hit like the tib and calf. Boom.
Here you go.
Yeah. So like if I do it on me right here, I'll hit the tib and calves. And one thing I like to do is not just like rub there, but then I like to move the tissues around.
Diffuse.
That's one. Yeah. So get those tissues moving underneath the pressure. And one thing to keep in mind when doing soft tissue work, you already do this, is like Kelly Strett mentioned it in his Supple Leopard. Don't have a pain face.
Yeah.
If you can breathe through it, because when you hold your breath and you have a pain face, that'll make the tissues harder to work with. So you need to work with a pressure that you can still breathe through. And if you find you're holding your breath, you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
You got trap bar here. You got barbell. You obviously have a powerlifting background. Your best deadlift is in the 800s, like 850.
Nah, 755 in meet, 775 in gym. Never got 800, unfortunately. And sumo. So does it really count?
Yeah. Well, my best deadlift is 685.
Conventional.
Conventional, yes, but never 700. So it's like, darn, I never got the 700. Don't know if I'm going to
I
chase it.
managed the 700 conventional pull. Managed that. But you know one thing? I never benched 4 plates.
Oh no, you never got 405?
No.
Okay.
My best was like 398. So I've never reached.
Oh, so close.
I've never reached.
So
And I'm never
close.
going to because I don't want. It's like it's not in the cards for me.
Well, let's see, yeah, and then your squat was
Squat was 622 in knee.
In sleeves.
640 in sleeves.
in sleeves.
Yeah, and 645 in the gym.
See, my best is 700 with wraps.
Yeah.
With sleeves on, maybe 600.
You could.
Yeah, back then, but I don't know if it's in the cards for me because I'm enjoying all this stuff so much and the quality of life and I'm like an anime character sometimes now. I kind of
Yeah, dude.
I like that more than just being like going all in. But if you could go back, when were you at your most competitive powerlifting? How many years ago?
Doug, I think that would be 2015.
Okay.
So like 10 years ago.
Here's, I think, is going to be something interesting for you guys. So you weren't really as well acquainted with a lot of these type of
I was
practices.
acquainted with none of this back then. None of this. Like maybe I used some kettlebells, but like I wasn't doing kettlebells like I do now.
Okay. Do you think if you started doing this stuff in like 2012, 2013, leading up to your peak in your powerlifting in 2015, what do you think it would have done for your top end strength?
Oh yeah, I think the reason why I think it would have helped is because I would have been in less pain and I would have moved better. Like back then, I had and this is one thing that can be argued, was the level of stiffness and tightness that I was chronically walking around with. Was that the reason I was then able to lift those heavy loads, or could I have had less pain? Could I have bended down easily to tie my shoes, and could I have still lifted heavy loads? And I believe I could have. Because right now I don't do that type of training, but I can still probably deadlift 500 pounds.
Yeah.
I can still lift heavy sandbags.
Deadlift. You think you deadlift only 500? You just chucked a 250-pound
I know, but
sandbag over your head.
I don't deadlift with the barbell.
You're going to be able to. You could smash into 600s easy without. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I think that if I had better global movement quality, that would have helped my body to feel better all the time, which probably have seeped into my training.
I think it was you or Mark or Brian. I don't know if it was you. Someone said it in this trip a couple days ago. They're like, I think the thing I'm getting out of this is that those static, muscle-bound, high-tension athletes need a little bit of this when they're at the peak of their career, and that people that do like all the flow, all the movement stuff, practices, they need a little bit of the high-tension strength stuff.
Yes.
So it's like a yin-yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. These things don't have to live on their own. That's why you see this here. Sandbags, I feel like, live right in the middle, where it's like they can allow a little bit, like they can allow for rotational movement, but you can still get the stiffness component and the rigid plane component that you get from traditional lifting.
Mm-hmm.
But you're exactly right. Like, we can do both. And I think the thing that we need to do is, we talked about this on the podcast, but let's not rush the progression we're trying to make. Because when you're so focused on building muscle, that's all you do, and then you neglect everything else because you're trying to build the most amount of muscle as fast as possible. What if you could gain that amount of muscle and it takes you a little bit longer, but now you have other movement abilities that are helping you feel better on a day-to-day basis? Because instead of doing a upper-lower push-pull leg split, maybe you do a, 3 full body days during the week, or 3 full body days in one specific day, and then on the other days you do some of this floofy flow work. And then if you're a floofy flow work person, you have those days, but then you have maybe 2 days out of the week where you do some more structure building work. You could lift heavy with the sandbag, or you could grab a barbell or the abomination trap bar if you want to do that. That'll allow you to get the best of both worlds. And you might not reach, instead of you gaining the amount of muscle you want in 5 years, it might take you 6 years or 7 years.
It's funny when you,
it's not that long.
I love it when it's like, why are you in such a rush? Why does it have to be this year? Brian and I were talking about like blue belts in jiu-jitsu. Like white belts, like, I want to be a blue belt. I want to get it in a year. It's like, so what if it takes you in a year and a half? Is it going to kill you to wait an extra 6 months? Like, why is this so, why is that? You know what I mean? So what if it takes you 6 years instead of 5?
Yeah. I think one thing that jiu-jitsu really helped me with was being, because, I think when you become an adult, you are hyper aware of how bad you are at everything that you're trying to do.
Oh, God.
So it stops you from trying to do those new things because you start and you're shit. When I started jiu-jitsu, I was 260 pounds, and guys that were 160 that were like tapping me right and left. And I was thinking, well, I'm super strong. I can deadlift over 700 pounds. Why are these small dudes making me tap multiple times in a single round?
Yeah.
And it kind of forced me to, like, first off, get okay with sucking at something. And it also helped me realize that this is going to take a while. Like, my jiu-jitsu goals at that time were like 10 years away.
Yeah.
And I was like, it expanded my time horizon. But I think picking up that martial art in adulthood, because I was 23 when I started, kind of gave me a little bit more courage to start doing other things that I wasn't great at. Because, like, I was a pro natural bodybuilder. I got onto the world stage of that. I got a very good powerlifting total, and I wanted to really improve at that. And these are things that I was good at because I've been lifting since I was 13. These are my strengths. But jiu-jitsu kind of gave me a bit of courage to start diving in on my weaknesses. And all the people that we've been able to talk to on the show, on the podcast, have kind of shown me all these different things that I'm not proficient at, which helped me realize, you don't have it all, dude. Because I thought I knew so much and shit, but then it made me realize, no, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn some stuff, you need to start doing some things you're not very good at and be okay with sucking, right?
I mean, this is so much fun. We can sit here and talk all day.
I know.
we see so eye to eye on so many things, and I feel like it's an exciting time in physical culture when people like you are bringing things like this, because a lot of people ignore this stuff because, the guy doesn't, he's 160 pounds and people don't take him seriously. But it's like when someone moves,
I wish people would take them seriously, though. I wish it wouldn't be like, I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But it's like, in jiu-jitsu, the killers are the smaller guys. The killers are the guys that have been training for a while. They're unassuming. When they come in and they just like treat you like a little object, right? It's like they're not physically demanding, not physically, crazy, but they have that technique. And I think we really do need to pay more attention to the people that might not look like the physical killers. Like that's where I've learned a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, me too.
Not from like huge jacked guys.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover. You know, and I think that one of the things is it's by how they move. I see some of these people like Powerhouse Persia, right? You see him, he's moving like 50-pound clubs on each arm, right? It's like, that's something. Now maybe he's not deadlifting a crazy amount of weight, but like, could you take something from that? I'm absolutely going to take something from that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I do think you're right. It is good that more people are starting to kind of try these things out. You know, because I appreciate you so much, man, because you try things before knocking them. I think what happens a lot is like, we'll see stuff like this, and this used to be my tendency. I'd see it, and I'd just be like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's another gimmick. That's another fad. But by learning from so many people, it's forced me to try and then understand, like, wow, that's yielding a lot of benefit for me, right? So,
it's a Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah,
Bruce Lee, it's like absorb what is useful, discard what is useless. It's all personal, though. So everyone's going to find what's useful and not as useful for them. Man, Hey, it was great. Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
tour. I just like the fact that people like you exist. So thank you.
Same to you, man. Thank you.